I'm back. Yes, 2 lives in a row. I'm back. Hi, Paris. Hi, Tasia. Thank you. My earrings are from LaVitaRosaStyle.com. These are best sellers right now. What's tea? Ryan decided to tell his side of the story, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna play Mother Goose. I'm gonna read it to you, and we'll discuss it. Hey, Tyronda. Hey, Ajubi. Yes, I finger coiled my hair. Isn't it so cute? It's like this is something I would have never done with long hair. It's something I always wanted to do, but I never did it because my hair was too long and it would take too long. But this only took me like maybe 30 minutes. And it is so cute. I love it. But thank you. um what does he have to say? We're gonna get into it. Hey girl, the Boston matchmaking special. I forgot that's tonight. I will not be reviewing it, but I think I might just watch it. Yes, Mother Goose. I'm be reading. Got my reading glasses on. Are you still cutting your hair? Yeah, I do plan to shave the sides. I really want to like shave the sides off because the whole point of me cutting my hair was to reduce the amount of time I spend on my hair. And even though this only took me 30 minutes, and that was kind of 30 minutes too long, I'm gonna cut the sides off so I only have to worry about the top. But I prefer watching your lives versus the making mess. They're matching someone that doesn't have a job. What? No, ma'am. I can't look. They send people up for failure. We know that at this point. We already know that. So we're not even gonna pretend like it's anything else. Did you see Virginia Instagram story? What is she talking about? She loved getting some attention. She see she one of the ones that I kind of feel like went on this show for attention because you could tell by who posts messy things afterwards, who's messy afterwards, you could tell who wanted that fame. I'm so glad you got a notification. YouTube be playing with your girl, but I'm glad you got one. Yep, he's unemployed. That's crazy. So I'm definitely gonna have to watch this special because we choose an unemployed now. They should not even be what? I know, right? 2 nights in a row. Hey, Fedora. I'm kind of like in my zone right now. I really, really missed y'all. I meant that when I said that. And then someone, let me look up the name because somebody sent me this and I really, really appreciate it. Okay. 1 second. Kimberly Wright Rivers sent me this. Thank you. Hold on. Sent me this. Unless he got a trust fund. Right. If he got a trust fund, he wouldn't be on Married at First Sight. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because this is pretty lengthy, and I want to read all of it because I feel like he laid it out pretty well. He has a way with words if he wrote this. Um, and I think it does give us a little bit more clarity on their relationship. I don't think this absolves him of all blame. But I do think that it explains things a little bit better. It gives us a clearer picture of what went down. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to read it, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Yes, Ryan, as in Ryan and Clara. He said, I had several months to reflect on a very challenging moment in my life. Being a part of the show has taught me more about myself than I could have ever imagined. I weighed the options of addressing the circumstances and choosing to continue or to remain silent. I've decided to share my thoughts. I first want to say I'm not here to debate anyone's feelings or emotions. You're allowed to feel the way you do. Going through a divorce, not to mention a public one, is tough. The only advice I would give is to ask yourself, why do I feel this way? It's exhausting and I get annoyed when my therapist does it, but I normally come around and feel better about doing the work to understand. Secondly, I hope that you never have to experience a divorce, but if you do, you have the courage to do so with what you feel is right after taking time to come to peace with that decision. How someone chooses to express emotions from the decision, although different than how I choose to do so, is understandable and okay. We all process events in our lives differently. Okay, that was the preface. Okay. What I can what I can no longer sit idly by for is untruthful statements to be continuously made about my family and friends. With that being said, getting married to a stranger is indescribable. Words won't ever describe it well. On one hand, you fully trust the process and those involved, and in the other, you think through what if this doesn't work out. I've always lived my life knowing you can always go back to where you were if it doesn't work out. The first thing I want to address, you can't truly be open to marry another race and not want to marry their culture, or at least at the minimum understand it. The Black experience and the Black culture are not a monolith. There's no one size fit all shoe. It's ever evolving and changing with time. What I can say is walking into a family gathering and not speaking to anyone and scrolling through your phone will never fly, and declining food outside of a food allergy or avoidance because you don't like the way it looks won't help either. My brother is a pescatarian and my sister-in-law doesn't eat pork, and we've made every family gathering work just fine. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. We're gonna come back to it. I'm gonna keep reading because it's a lot to read, okay? But I did want that to be on the forefront of your mind, okay? By marrying into a different race culture, you inherently adopt parts of their identity. Most importantly, your kids 100% will, and your kids will need you to help navigate it. They'll need you to they'll need you to help teach, train, and understand as best as you can a systematically racist system. Choosing to not attempt to understand and educate yourself is a red flag. To give context with this, why am I driven? Why do I carry myself in a certain way? Why do I not get upset or not fight? Why is purpose so important to me? Why did I ask my wife what motivates her? Because for hundreds of years, Black people couldn't answer those questions. Black people couldn't do whatever they wanted. I can't afford to have a bad day at work or get upset and be labeled as the angry Black guy. I can't waste opportunities that my parents labored so hard to provide, because generations ago, my ancestors were born into the whip and died under the whip, dreaming of what they may become, of what I may become. Boy, he about to preach. Hold on. He about to preach, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Because he's saying something. He's saying something. Because Black people of color or Black and Indigenous people of color aren't afforded second chances all that often. We almost have to be perfect. You know what? Ryan sounds so much more woke than I thought he was. I didn't know he was woke. I didn't know he was. I didn't know. I didn't know he thought like this. So let me continue. So that representation of me and understanding what their representation means on a TV screen is important, and it should be important to my partner. As the show progressed and we continued to have more conversations around this, my fear of not being understood was happening. While I intentionally avoided having such complex conversations on camera, it was being discussed privately. I hoped the time away from the cameras would help make things better, as we all deserve time to change and grow. This conversation started months before a final decision was made and over months of post show marriage counseling. Please do not read this as an accusation of racism. It is undoubtedly and most certainly is not. It's entirely possible all too often to not be. I forgot I can't say the R word. I don't want this to get demonetized. It is all too. It done got me flustered, y'all. I'm sorry. It's entirely possible all too often to not be the R word while still be completely unaware. I'll repeat. I don't believe this to be an example of R word, but more so blinded unawareness that is all too common. I will always appreciate the basic understanding of what is right and wrong, but to fully comprehend right and wrong, we have to understand their root causes. Failing to learn history will only cause you to repeat it. What it is, though, it's an example of not understanding Black America, something that is all too real in day to day life. Posting Black squares and saying Black Lives Matter isn't enough in understanding the experience and what the weight of history means every single day. And not only for you, but for our children. And many others stand on the backs of giants. And I'll never forget the sacrifices of those who came before me. It's also not understanding that you, as a non Black person, will raise Black children one day, and you'll have to explain experiences that you yourself never went through. You'll have to have empathy, compassion, and a mindset shift to attempt to understand nothing that you've ever personally been through. In short, you need to at least attempt to understand the culture you're married into. We avoided having these conversations on camera as I knew this was a complex topic and did not want it to seem as if I was weaponizing the camera against her. I will own that. I intentionally derailed conversations or avoided them because I knew where it would go. We had enough of them off camera to know how it would go on camera. So he was basically trying to protect her. To truly have a vulnerable and open conversation about this, a camera in your face and the uncertainty of the editing looming isn't the way to do it. And I elected to try and handle it on my own versus create uncomfortable positions for entertainment purposes. In today's climate, I didn't feel comfortable letting a blurb or flat statement define someone's holistic thought process. So he was definitely trying to keep her from looking a certain type of way on camera because we know how editing can go. When agreeing to a forever, having these deep rooted conversations are critical. Talking about what makes you you is important. Things like intimacy and the physical are also important, but none of these things will sustain a relationship long term. Hearing more frustration over lack of intimacy in the first 2 weeks than spiritual and mental capacity were alarming. Before committing to buying a home without any financial support from your spouse, these answers are important. Wanting to get a solid understanding of what the other person sees as a future for their life should not be hard. I think the most unfortunate part of it all, despite the months of weekly marital counseling sessions and numerous conversations around these topics for months during/after the show that were ignored, is being used as content for clicks, likes, and TikTok dances and the attention of the masses. Choosing to ignore having a conversation isn't blindsiding, it's called avoidance. Capitalizing off of that for money, for monetary gain, via television specials, amongst other things, feels like the biggest blindside of them all. I'm getting into this, y'all. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm getting into this. Hold on. The other thing I want to emphasize here, it's undoubtedly okay to have different wants/desires. In this particular scenario, we have no choice on who we marry and how they feel about life. Clara is 1,000% allowed to have her own belief system, as she should, and they most certainly shouldn't be because of me. It should be what she wants in her life. I truly have no idea what was put on her questionnaire by her, but I can assuredly tell you that life outlook and religion were non-negotiable for me. Lastly, I want to say I'm not perfect, and I have, basically, I don't know why that just clicked in my mind. Basically, he has some non-negotiables that they went against clearly. Lastly, I want to say I'm not perfect and I have made mistakes. Also, I wish I could have explained my why more. I wish I could have let my guard down even more when I was frustrated. I also wish I could describe who the perfect person is for me. I think we all deserve grace on trying to describe something we've never experienced or seen before. At this point, other narratives were being scapegoated, and I want to make sure I spoke on this. I choose to address this not only for myself, but hopefully for another experience that sparks a conversation outside of the reality TV show sphere. If there's something I have enjoyed, if there's something I have enjoyed is when a married couple with more wisdom about relationships than I'll ever have lets me know a conversation or an idea was brought up on the show, help them in their journey. He wrote that weird. That's something I underestimated in the power of TV. I made a promise to Claire's parents to be respectful of their daughter, regardless of the outcome, and I intend to keep doing so. Thanks for the read, Ryan Ubre. Now, in all fairness, I read in comments in a Facebook group that Clara will be releasing a tell-all interview, and so the belief is that he released this trying to get ahead of something. I don't know what she plans to speak on in the interview. I plan to watch the interview and I will do a live about her interview as well to get both sides. But so far we've only heard Clara's side. She's done TikToks and I've spoken on the things that she said. So I thought it would be only fair to read this and to, give his side as well, because yeah, like I want to give a balanced view of what's going on here. Now, with that being said, I want to read your responses to what was said. I'm scrolling all the way up and I'm going to read what y'all have to say. Stay with your own kind. Okay, let me say this. He's speaking on, we're going to have kids one day. You need to be able to understand the Black experience, all that, right? If that's so important to you, wouldn't it be easier to be with a Black person if that's really important to you? I'm not telling you who you should date. I'm not saying that you can't date outside of your race. I'm not saying someone outside of your race can't be empathetic and can't try to understand. And I'm fully on your side with, if you want to be with a Black man, you need to be trying to understand his culture, because you are going to have children that are going to be perceived as Black most likely. So I agree with that, but if you feel so strongly on this, shouldn't you have requested a Black woman? Shouldn't you be searching for a Black woman? Okay. I said Ryan needed her to be down for the cause and she was empty. That's foul. Okay, you're probably discussing her not mingling with the family and staying in her phone and not eating the food. I feel like that would be disrespectful anywhere you went. I feel like in any environment, if you walk in and you're the minority, it would kind of be disrespectful not to speak to anyone there and not to eat any of the food. It's a little disrespectful. It is. Like he said, now if you have a food allergy or if you have something that you just don't eat, like pork, or if you're pescatarian, things like that, that makes sense. But if you're just avoiding the food because of the genre of food, that's questionable. But you want to be with a black man. Y'all saw around with them BLM shirts. Didn't she take BLM out of her bio after the she did? So black lives don't matter no more? If he dated a black woman, this wouldn't be an issue, right? Come on, Ryan, shake the table. I was not expecting this. Come on, Ryan. What did he expect? Child Ryan was shook by Claire's blatant white privilege and carelessness. But wasn't she as a that's what shocked me, because I do remember like when on the special where you get to know the people participating, that was one of her main things, was marching in Black Lives Matter um protests and things like that. So that shocked me that she had no sort of empathy for his experience. But at the same time, Ryan, you asked for a quirky Zoe Deschanel type. I, that don't sound like a black woman. I mean, yeah, obviously you could have that personality, but you ain't talking about a black woman with that personality. I don't think so. Okay, Killmonger. Read with enunciation, okay? See, people act like allies until you have to really be an ally. I can't take this seriously from a man who requested a white woman. Ain't he the one who requested a white woman? Ryan's brother wrote this. Where was his gumption during filming? He claims he was trying to protect her. He claims that he didn't want to make her look a certain way on camera. That's what he claims. I'm just telling you what he said. It was probably the cameras that made him climb into a shell. The shirts gave me somewhat of a clue, I guess, of his pro-blackness, wokeness. I wonder, is this newfound wokeness? Because like during the panorama, and it was just it's a time where a lot of people open their eyes. And I wonder, did he feel this way before the experiment? Or was this a newfound, wokeness, quote unquote? This is why you shouldn't seek someone based on race. Values are so much more important. Exactly. Black men and their preferences. He said his type was quirky and he was open to interracial, but if it was that serious for him, he should have said no to being matched to a white woman. I agree. They're both fake, because Ryan was giving real tap dancing tease the whole season, talking about I'm more comfortable with certain types of people because of where I grew up. Meanwhile, his brother is giving blackity black. She did get fetish. A lot of people said that. A lot of people said that she gave fetish, and I didn't really see it, but I think if I knew this, I would have saw it. We didn't see any black friends in his circle. I said I was wondering how he might have been if he was paired with a black woman. I don't know. I don't know, Ryan. I feel like this is a newfound wokeness. A white woman can't produce a black child. Um, they're like, when you look at someone like Barack Obama, he's biracial, but his phenotype is black. So I feel like you can be perceived as black and be biracial, but can a white person teach you the ropes of how to navigate in this society? I just don't think so. I think you have to learn that from another black person. It's interesting that he feels this way and this strongly. He must have known that he may run into if he dates non-black, and if they were together for 2 months, did they not talk during the 8 weeks? Yeah, why did he say yes on decision day if this was that big of an issue? If they had babies, they would not be black though. Ryan is Creole. That baby would look like Tamara Mallory's son. But if you look at Tamara Mallory's daughter, she looks phenotypically black. She just looks light skinned. Hold on, y'all. Hold on for a second. My bad. Dang. It done went all the way back down to the bottom. Look at how dark Khloe Kardashian's daughter. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are plenty of biracial people who look monoracial. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's biracial people that are white passing. There are biracial people that are the stereotypical look of what a mixed person looks like, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? And even those people a lot of times are perceived as black. So I feel like it's not like not no pun intended, it's not a black and white issue. There's so many areas of gray when it comes to race. Perceived as black and actually being black will always be different. In my opinion, you'll always know one side of your family isn't black, and that's okay. I agree. I do agree with how you perceived and how you identify. Totally different. Totally different, because you could be perceived. There's plenty of people that if you look at them, you see a black person, but they'll tell you, I'm not black. Like, there are some like Afro Latino people that are black racially, but ethnically they're, Hispanic or however that goes. Um, and they'll tell you I'm not black, but I'm sitting up here looking at a black person. Same thing, a biracial person might just look black and they'll be like, no, I'm biracial. How they identify is totally different. Let me scroll up some. Clara was super fetishizing and it creeped me out from the jump. Yeah, a lot of people called that out. A lot of people called that out. I'm lighter than Ryan and I'm fully black, but Ryan wanted to align himself with whiteness. He did. That's why I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at this statement because I don't know. I think Ryan saw the light somewhere or got woke somewhere, because I think when he signed up for his show, I just don't think this was the same Ryan that we see before us today. I don't think that's the same. I don't think Ryan before all of what happened with George Floyd and everything, I don't think that's the same Ryan we're seeing now, because he had to have had a change of heart somewhere for all of his friends to be white. And now he's wearing BLM shirt. It's just, I don't know. There's a disconnect. And I want to make this clear. I am not placing the blame on Clara now that I have this statement. I am not. I still think Ryan was uptight about a lot of things. I think he was wrong for having her, do the one-sided thing in the bedroom. I don't agree with that. I still, him withholding this I love you until until the reunion, when someone literally had to force you to say it. Like, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave her alone if you knew this was the case during the whole experiment, and you were having these conversations, and you knew she wasn't feeling your family, and you knew that she wasn't trying to understand your experience? Why did you say yes on decision day then? If you're having all of these issues, and why were y'all being deceitful in front of the camera? No, Ryan's parents are black. Even if they're mixed, even if they're Creole or whatever, I would say his parents are black. Check out Virginia's story. What's her name on Instagram? Because y'all keep telling me. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. They did say on that interview that they were doing it. Let me not say it like that. They were having intercourse during the experiment. So you're right. You're right. They did clarify that. What is Virginia's name, so I could look up what she said too? She loved mess. I don't care what y'all say. She loved mess. Meet Virginia. Okay. She got a bunch of stories. Is she speaking, or did she write something down? Because I see the video. This is not a black woman's fight. I agree. Is it this video? She's speaking. Okay, let me see if I can pull it up then. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on, girl. Hold on. Pause.
All right, I woke up today like I do every day.
Can y'all hear this?
So let's get in.
Can y'all hear this before I keep going? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Hopefully she don't do no cursing.
Into some things. If you don't know what I'm talking about, keep scrolling, or if you want to know what I'm talking about, then stick around. Clara, that was on Married at First Sight with me, obviously one of my best friends. I was there for her through the entire breakup. I know what happened. Let's just put it that way. Let's just start there. I was there for a lot of it.
Girl, I hope she don't do.
Know very fully the story. Okay.
We don't need every.
So I would be commenting on the post directly of what I'm talking about on Ryan's post. But I'm pretty sure he blocked me from commenting. Like when I comment, I can see it, and then other people can't see it. And I found like a thing in your settings where you can block like a specific person from commenting, and I'm sure he
Girl,
assumed
we don't
I would
need
have
all of
something to say,
that.
because don't I always stick up for my friends and speak the truth? So first off, that's why I'm addressing it here on my stories, because I can't comment. Oh God, I don't even know where to start. The allegations are so insane.
Why did you get
Let me
on
gather
here
my
if you
thoughts.
didn't know where to start?
Okay, well, I'm definitely getting in trouble for saying this, but fun fact, Clara is on TV tomorrow night.
TV.
And Ryan knows that. Anyone within the MAFS world like knows she was going to be on it, knows she's going to be pushed to address the breakup. She does not speak badly about Ryan or his family in any way. It's very much about how she's processed and how she is moving on. But it's just convenient timing that he's posting this tonight with the special coming out tomorrow. He's very obviously trying to get ahead of whatever he thinks is going to be said and play the race card. Obviously, I am a white female and I could not speak on the Black experience at all. But as someone who does also date outside my race, I would hope in a partner to be with someone who was willing to educate me where I lack and was willing to have hard conversations and just teach me. Clara tried to have that. Clara asked for education and was told no, was refused the education she wanted, and was just told she just needed to know. Too. I'm sorry. How do you just know?
We don't
without
always
being taught,
have to explain everything, y'all.
Or without having things explained to you from the other perspective. Yes, Clara and I believe myself to be big but no, that does not mean we know the Black experience, and we never will. That's just how we were born. And so I think you cannot claim someone does not know your culture or does not know your experience when you're unwilling to educate when they're asked. So that's like one little piece of that. Girl. Also, I think as a Black man who primarily dates white women and who went on a TV show and I'm pretty positive asked for a white woman, I think that's something you should know going into it and should be willing to do. Yeah. Claire's not the only one who predominantly dates outside of her race in that marriage. Another point I have is if my mother-in-law ever overstepped her boundaries and said things to me along the lines of that if I give her son oral, a blowjob, I need to treat it as I'm giving him a gift and expect nothing in return for said gift that I have given him.
Why is she telling this?
If my mother-in-law ever said that to me, I think I'd feel pretty awkward walking into her house also.
Oh my
There's things called boundaries, and mothers need to respect them with their daughter-in-law or anyone their son is dating. And speaking about anything involving sex, whether it's on TV or not, is a little inappropriate. Anyway, the divorce happened for a plethora of reasons, and I do think, culture and just what they were wanting out of life definitely played factors. But you can't sit up on your high horse and craft this whole 9-page rant that you obviously it's very meticulously crafted. And then say you're respecting her family. Her family's pissed right now. You want to hear what her family's saying? They are pissed. Because that is not respecting her or her family. That is trying to get ahead of something you think is coming for you. When it's actually not. So you're going to look real stupid tomorrow.
What is going on?
There's not anything that you should have been freaking out about. Because some people are actually above that. But then you're going to sit there and pretend that you're the one above it. When you're the one going on this rant. Also, fun fact. Me and Haley moved Claire out of Ryan's house. Like he mentioned something in his little rant about that she wasn't gonna be able to help financially with a new house. Claire was still paying rent in her apartment. Both Clara and I gave up our houses to move into our spouses. My lease was up, so I completely gave mine up. Claire's lease was not up, so she was still paying rent there, but living at Ryan's while they were searching for this other house. When she wasn't paying rent anymore, she would have been contributing to the mortgage, obviously. But me and Haley helped Claire move out, and thankfully she had her old apartment to go back to. And Ryan sat in his office at his house, watched us move every single item of hers out of that house, and did not lift a fucking finger to help us. Just sat there. Yeah, so if you want to pretend to be this, I don't know, awesome man who did everything you could, not to mention the marriage counseling was Clara's idea, and he was like very hesitant of it, but then would like kind of throw things in her face that their counselor said, and like was never super open to it or super helpful with the marriage counseling. That was 100% Clara wanting to do it. Yeah, just don't pretend to be this great, amazing man and that you like didn't do anything wrong in this marriage, and then it was all just like racial and cultural differences and basically calling your wife a racist, who is the farthest thing from it. When you got some dirt, that's for sure. And you were extremely
this is never ending,
unwilling to bend and do what it takes to make a relationship actually work, regardless of race. Whether you did in your race, outside your race, it wouldn't have worked for you. Okay, I'll end my rant now. Now. But the whole thing's just comical. The timing is very convenient. It's very snake-like. Yeah. So, I mean, y'all will hear a little bit of Clara's side tomorrow on the special, but it's fully just about, how she's processed everything and moved on.
I'm just gonna end it here because I feel like she don't have anything else to say. Okay. Virginia, don't nobody have to teach you about how Black people are treated. There are so many resources. Google is free. I do, however, I can agree that if your preference is someone outside of your race and you don't want to help them understand at all, and that is who you want to bear and raise your children, and you don't want to assist in any way, why are you going after mainly white women? That's her only point. But everything else, girl. Oh, and if what she said was true about what his mom said, that was completely out of line. Completely. But honestly, all of this was completely out of line. Why did she feel the need to come out here and spill all of that? Like, did you need some engagement? Like, what's going on here? I don't get it. Excuse me. I am so confused. Like, and then she was mad because he didn't help her move out. Why would he help her move out? They are no longer like, why? Why would he do that? Like, girl, I don't even what? I don't believe his mama said that. Girl, I don't look. Crazier things have happened. But that is quite odd. His mom just didn't even seem like that type of woman to even say something like that. But maybe, I don't know. I don't want to completely discount it because Chris's parents was something else too. Okay. But why does she feel the need to come out here and expose all of this? I don't even think Ryan was disrespectful at all. I really don't. Like, I think he was giving his perspective. He even made an effort to say that she wasn't R word. I don't want to say the word. She already said it once. I hope it doesn't get flagged. But you know what I mean? Like, he went out of his way to say that. So, did you not read his entire statement? Like, and if Clara is allowed to go on TV and tell her side of the story and say how it is that she felt, if she's allowed to go on TikTok and give her side, why is he not able to give his side? You can say it, Paige, but I'll get demonetized, and I want this video to be monetized. That's the reason. Thank you, Tyronda. Please give this video a like. It's 163 people in here. Shout out to everyone in this. I did not expect to even go live tonight. So shout out to everyone here. You think his essay was blamey? I think he was just giving his side personally. Like, I do think that, him telling that she didn't hang out with his side of the family, you know, I I guess maybe you could say that's a little blamey, but I think it kind of gives a little bit more insight as to what was going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But the way she spoke on him was blamey. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything that she had to say about their situation was kind of blamey. Like, after they got off the TV show and the gloves were off and they got a divorce, looking at her TikTok, she blamed him for a lot. So I don't mind him coming out here and possibly giving his side and maybe even blaming her for some things, because she did blame him. Oh no, I don't feel bad for him now. I don't feel bad. I don't. I just like to have things balanced. I just like to see both sides. Like, we got to hear Clara's side. Clara has told her side 10 times over, as far as on TikTok and in comments and saying little things here or there. I've heard so much of what Clara had to say. Finally, to hear what he had to say, I just wanted to hear it. And I just don't think he was disrespectful about it. I really don't. There are some things that she said that could be considered disrespectful. Like, you know, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust him in that perm. He got what he asked for. You know what? I agree with that. I do. I'm not gonna sit up here and feel bad for him or feel sorry for him or say, oh, let's stick up for Ryan. He was wronged in this situation. No, Ryan, you asked for a white woman, you date white women, you should know what comes with that. I honestly can't remember specifics. Like, I'm sure I have a live talking about it, or I talked about it in one of my lives. I know I talked about it in one of my lives. I can't remember specifics, but she was talking about it, things in the bedroom. She was talking about, the fact that she took his last name and he didn't appreciate it. What else did she talk about? She talked about how he basically was not into her, and it's a lot of stuff she said. I can't remember specifically everything. Virginia out here with her white cape on. Why do you, Chris is about to have something to say any second. Please do not conjure him up. I shouldn't even said his name. Do not conjure him up, please. We all said they should have said no. Exactly. We all said it. And if he felt this way during the process, he should have been the main one that said no. Neither one of y'all were pleased with one another. She wasn't pleased in one area, he wasn't pleased in others. Major areas, mind you. So why did y'all say yes on decision day? For appearances? To prove everybody wrong? Like why? I cannot. I cannot. Well, they were lying the whole time. They were being deceptive. And I had a feeling that that's what was going on because it just felt like they were trying to spin a narrative on the reunion and they were like a united front. So both of them were deceptive. So I don't feel bad for neither one. Both trying to save face. Yeah. They were trying to save face at the reunion. Especially especially when Clara got caught on those cameras that she didn't realize she was being filmed saying, I'm tired of this one-sided situation. Because part of me, I do feel like at some point maybe they consummated their marriage. But I think for the longest it was one-sided. Because they did capture that footage of her talking about how she was tired of it being one-sided. So that was real because she didn't even know she was being filmed. I agree. And if they did have relations, if they did, it was at the very end because that was towards the end when she had that rant. That explains his disinterest. I think it turned him off because I remember talking about this too when they had that I remember they went to a donut shop and he went out of his way to put out this nice little platter of donuts because he knew she liked donuts. And he wanted to have a serious conversation about motivation and ambition and goals and things like that. Things that you talk about with your partner. Completely normal when she didn't have any sort of motivation, I think that turned him off because she was just like, "Oh, I don't know. I just, she just lived life." And, you know, inherently, I don't see anything wrong with it because, you know, if you can afford to do that, then you can afford to do that. But I understand his point as well. Being black in America, we can't afford to do that unless you come from money. I don't even remember her chomping on them donuts. Why are y'all? I don't even remember that. And she also said that she didn't like to eat healthy. And I think that was a turnoff for him too, because he's like fitness, eat healthy, all that, and she don't even like to eat vegetables. So I ain't gonna lie, as an adult, if I'm with a man and he's like, oh no, I don't drink water or I don't like vegetables, I'm gonna be mm-mm. I ain't gonna like that either. Claire said she wanted an ambiguous man. I remember her saying that. I remember that too. They both fetishized each other. I could see that. I could totally see that. And I could also see him like feeling that way when he was signing up for this process, and this whole revolution happened, and him having like this awakening or change of heart, and her not, her saying she aligned with those ideals, but not actually, she talked the talk but didn't walk the walk. So I could understand how the disconnect could happen. But once again, I don't feel bad for you, because originally that's what you wanted. What? Both are gross. Are you talking about vegetables and water, or are you talking about Claire and Ryan? There are really people out here drinking more liquor than water. There are really people out here that never drink water. That only that never drink water, that think water tastes nasty. How does water taste like anything? I mean, I know different waters have different tastes, but literally, come on. And if you do feel that way, find a brand of water that does taste good to you, or that you can tolerate, and drink it. Like, seriously. Oh, Ryan and Claire. Okay, thank you for clearing that up, because I was like, I hope you're not talking about water and vegetables. Yes. Now, do I like every vegetable on the earth? No. There are some vegetables I refuse to eat. Okay? I will not eat beets. Nasty. I've never had beets cooked the way, I've never had them where I like them. No. And there are certain vegetables that I only like certain ways, cooked certain ways, or I only like them raw. But if you don't like vegetables, period, that's a problem. Now he's a freedom fighter. Have you ever had roasted beets? I've never had roasted beets, but I'm telling y'all, beets. If someone offers me roasted beets, I'm willing to try it. But on my own, eat beets? No. Beets just turn my stomach. I can't. I can't. Beets are good when you juice them. I see. I don't like the taste. I don't like the taste of them. I've had them juiced, and my grandma, she used to juice all the time when I was younger, and I hated when she would put beets in it. I think that's when I developed my disdain for beets, is during that time, because I could not stand it, and it was early in the morning too. Mm-mm. I hate rutabagas. Beets make me vomit. Ew. You had a terrible experience. I love asparagus and Brussels sprouts. I like asparagus, and I like Brussels sprouts too. Yeah. Tastes like sweet dirt. I've never had golden beets. Golden beets sounds like something I'm willing to try. Juice and apple, with beets. Beets have an overpowering taste. But all right, y'all. I've been on here for an hour. That's all I plan to stay on here. I didn't want to be on here for much longer than that. Make sure y'all like this live. Shout out to everyone who contributed. Y'all made this live so much better than I ever expected. I didn't even plan to go live. This was so random, but I'm so glad I did it. It was so good. I feel like we had great conversation. Shout out to the person that sent me Ryan's statement. Also, shout out to the person, to the people in here who told me to look up Virginia's stories, because that added another element of entertainment that I was not expecting. But thank you. And yes, I hope y'all enjoyed this live. I will see you in my next one. I might just, pop in. You never know. Turn on the notifications. Turn on the notifications and we'll do a random girl talk here or there. Or if I have like a specific topic, then we could talk about that. Whenever Clara's interview comes out, I'm gonna watch that. Does it come on Lifetime? No one ever said like she said it comes on TV, but I don't know where. Like, does anybody have any clue where her interview is gonna drop? Because I do want to, whenever she releases that, I do want to watch it. And we could talk about that too. I'm not gonna be reviewing the specials. I'm not gonna be reviewing any of the specials. I'm gonna start my review with episode 1. So yes, don't look for me to review any of that. I don't feel like it. Let's not get into it until we have to. Okay, shout out to everyone in here. Love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Peace. Oh, it's in this kickoff special? Okay, thank you.